Alright fellas, so today, cordless system I've had for a while now. It's been 3 or 4 years. Honestly, it's been great. I don't use it hard. I'm not building houses with it. I built a shed with it, but that's a whole nother story. It didn't get worked out a whole lot there. A lot of that was just nailing, not a whole lot of screwing. You know, I'm upping my game a little bit, moving on to some Milwaukee. I had some questions about this in the shed video. I figured I'd go ahead and answer some. Craftsman here, and noticed the battery on it. Well, this is actually the right battery. The old Craftsman die-hard battery. This is the battery that came with it. Came with a junky charger, you know, one of these jobbers. Plug it right onto the battery like so. Not a good setup. Takes quite a while for that to charge too. I noticed these bolt-ons, that's what Craftsman calls them, bolt-ons, were a lot like the BLACK+DECKER matrix. I kind of wondered, this battery here works, of course, on this gun. And I got another drill, and of course, it was like a $70 or $80 drill, dropped down to like 40 bucks. I went ahead and picked one up, was actually, you know, kind of pleased with it. Noticed that the batteries looked awfully similar. Got the little dingle end here, the same quick release and everything. It wasn't until I pulled out the charger that came with it where I thought, well, it's just the same damn thing. They just relabeled it. I took the old Craftsman battery, hooked it on to the drill, and sure enough, it works. Works in the screw driving, drill driving mode, works in the drill mode. So I thought, well, that's kind of cool, and started looking at this a little more in depth, wondering if these attachments actually could be swapped out between the Craftsman Bolt On and the BLACK+DECKER matrix. I tell you what, not only are the bottoms of these things interchangeable, but so are the tops. It says matrix right on it. Matter of fact, it's got a BLACK+DECKER code right there, you know, driven by a bolt on. You throw one of these BLACK+DECKER batteries on it, no problems whatsoever. In learning that, I kind of noticed that it was a lot cheaper to buy the matrix heads for this guy than it was to buy the bolt-on heads. And wouldn't you know it, not only does the drill driver head work, I bought this one for $7 at Walmart. Still haven't taken it out of the package, but I can guarantee you that works. I just got it because I figured this might take a shit on me one day. It's still working great. Went ahead and grabbed this here little trim router attachment, and of course I don't do a lot of woodworking, but this was a cheap way to get me into woodworking. So you have to press this button in, press this button in, then pull the trigger. This one first, this one second, trigger third. Uh-oh. The nut come off. I don't do a lot of woodworking. I figured this was a very inexpensive way for me to get into some kind of woodworking. Still haven't really done anything with it. If I need to do any kind of real woodworking, my brother's one, he's got all this kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a trim router. It's also a BLACK+DECKER matrix. I have used this little saw here. It's just the rotary one. Lift up on this before you pull the trigger. And that's where you get your saw moving. And this thing works great, even though it's just a little bitty saw. I think it's more for trim, but you can get by on a 2x4 as long as you're not cutting it tall ways and you're cutting it fat ways. That'll work. Zipping through like sheetrock or something like that, this would work great. Little trim stuff, perfect. What it's made for. It has a little detail sander. Matter of fact, that one you just rip the trigger and she goes. Yeah, so works good. This is the actual drill piece that came on it, and I noticed when I looked at it there were no markings on it whether or not it was a Craftsman or a BLACK+DECKER matrix. So there's nothing on here saying whether or not it's a bolt-on or a matrix, but this is the drill head that came with this drill. with this operating handle. And yeah, it works. Quick chuck. Good little drill. But I got that one. I could have a hex driver and then a dedicated drill. Now the funny thing about this dedicated drill is for the most part this guy is this is what I use it for. That's how I use it right there. Gravy maker. Variable speed trigger. And you know what? Plenty of battery power right there. Whipping up gravy or whatever. So yeah, old lady uses this in the kitchen quite a bit. I use it when I'm making gravy, but yeah, that's what this drill is pretty much turned into. Because if I have any real drilling that needs to be done out in the garage, I just throw this guy back on there. So yeah, not used to its full potential whatsoever. Of course, you saw the light I got, and I have some of these batteries here too, which I think these are just 1 amp hour batteries that they don't last worth of crap. But yeah, multi-position little light. I think I paid $5 for this thing. Here's the old jigsaw attachment. Just pull her trigger. And probably my favorite attachment that hardly got any use whatsoever is the compressor. Also variable speed. But as you can see, built-in pressure gauge there. Sweet little gadget. Throw that in the truck. Throw that in the truck. Pump up a tire. It works great for bicycles, you know, that kind of stuff. It takes quite a little bit on one of the bigger tires, but it will pump them up. I got these batteries here with some lawn care items from BLACK+DECKER that I used those for years too until I went gas powered. I did end up picking up with that lawn care set. This 20-volt mounter on the wall. Of course, you have to mount it upside down, but you can screw her into the wall, drop your battery in there. So that worked good. The best battery charger it has for it though, and of course this comes in BLACK+DECKER and Craftsman. Of course, the BLACK+DECKER is cheaper. This one was on sale at Walmart on clearance. I give $20 for it. It was regularly $50. This is a fast charger, so and it worked good. I mean, you could charge up one of those batteries in under an hour easy. Some of these guys right here would charge up in about a half an hour. So it worked great. All that started with the question of why do I have a BLACK+DECKER battery on my Craftsman 20-volt drill. Oh, and that actually locks. I did not know that. That actually locks, creates an open circuit when you don't have something plugged in there. So that's kind of cool. I actually didn't know that until now. Yeah, that's the story on the Craftsman Bolt On or BLACK+DECKER Matrix. Craftsman, you're going to have to get it on like Craigslist or eBay or something. You might be able to score it on Amazon. The BLACK+DECKER Matrix stuff, I know they have it at Menards and they have it at Walmart. I'm sure you can get it other places also. One of those things that I used to use, getting ready to upgrade all this stuff to Milwaukee, so this is all going bye-bye. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe. Love, hate, hardknocksforge@gmail.com. Don't send me any panties. They never fit. Well, yeah, and while this guy's charging over here, these things also come in 12 volt, the Matrix does. The Craftsman Bolt On does too. And they also have a corded version, which is like a 4 or 6 amp, you know, plug her into the wall, always got power type stuff. So they do have more than just this one handle. Now, whether or not the 12 volt heads match up to the 18 volt heads, I don't know anything about that or not. But the handheld ones that are 4 or 6 amps, whatever those are these 20 volt heads. So I do know that.